Hello everyone, we are from Group 3 of Marketing Management class taught by Mr. Sahid Susilo. We're going to present about how to engage customers in co-creation, customers' motivation for collaborative innovation. Next slide, please. As an introduction, I want to clarify that customers are no longer a passive audience, but active co-producers and engage in behaviors that strengthen their relationship with the product, company, or brand. They want to co-create value, to build their identities, express themselves creatively, socialize with other consumers, and enjoy unique and memorable experiences. Next slide, please. Here are the terms used frequently in this presentation. The first one is customer engagement, or CE, which is a multidimensional concept comprising of cognitive, emotional, and/or behavioral dimensions characterized by a specific intensity level that plays a central role in the process of relational exchange. The next one is co-created value, or CCV, which is a level of perceived value created in the customer's mind and generated by CE in a particular interactive experience and or joint activity with a vocal object. And the last one is co-creation, which is the joint, concurrent, peer-like process of producing new value, both materially and symbolically. Co-creation occurs when the customers participates through spontaneous, discretionary behaviors beyond the selection of predetermined actions. Next slide, please. I'm going to explain the relationship between CE and co-creation. CE plays a remarkable role to establish customers' motivation to get involved in co-creation. Past research indicates that through CE, customers may extensively contribute resources, e.g. time, skills, or knowledge, within their own networks to actors, affecting value co-creation. Next slide. Online communities allow strengthening consumer relationships and engagement by connecting consumers through electronic discussion forums, chat rooms, news groups, or online communities. Community members can create and co-create value for themselves, other members, visitors, and/or organizations. Users both produce and consume information in a voluntary and democratic manner, and customers may acquire new customers for the firm. Next slide, please. The term collaborative product innovation is generally conceptualized as a 5 stages of new product development process, including ideation, concept development, product design, testing, and introduction. Co-creation in NPD allows consumers to take an active and central role in the process, since successful NPD depends on understanding consumer needs. By involving consumers more actively in the process, new ideas are more likely to be valued by them, and thereby increasing the probability of success. Participation is also crucial because significant contributions to NPD process can only be expected when people are willing to share their ideas, and only relatively few will have the willingness to be fully engaged. Identifying the motivating factors is crucial in order to maximize the appeal to potential contributors and to create virtual innovating experience environment. In order to do so, companies primarily need to find out what consumers expect from the co-creation and how consumers' motivations influence those expectations. And the next slide will be explained by Nadila.
Yes, thank you for next slide. How to engage customer industry. Customer engage in collaborative innovation driven by their motivation. Motivation itself differs into intrinsic motivation and extrinsic motivation. The first one is intrinsic motivation. Intrinsic motivation is motivation to engage in an activity primarily for its own sake without appeals external incentive. For examples are when they got customer interaction experience, when there is a desire to cooperate and interact because they are came from the same community, so they act with a sense of voluntarism. when individuals look for enjoyable experience, and when they feel it creates a sense of self-expression. The second one is extrinsic motivation. Extrinsic motivation is activated by the intention of obtaining a desired outcome or avoiding an undesired one, and is associated with external incentives such as monetary compensation or recognition by others, separated from the activity itself. The other examples are when community provide a sense of belonging and social identity, when there is social benefits, and when there is financial rewards. Next slide, please. The last one of how to engage consumer is a combination of intrinsic, internalized, extrinsic motive, and entirely extrinsic motive that comes at once. Where the intrinsic include fun and altruism, the internalized and extrinsic motive include learning and reputation, and the entirely extrinsic motive include payment and career prospects. Next slide will be presented by Kenny.
Thank you, Puput, and thank you, Nadila. You are doing great. Now, let me continue. Within this part, I'm going to present you what is the relevant thing Nike has produced to engage more with their customers. What's the product? It is Nike Plus, with the symbol of this plus, all right? So what is Nike Plus? Nike Plus, which is commonly displayed as Nike symbolic plus, is a software program that works by tracking the performance of runners through a wireless connection. The system also uses the Nike Plus website to store each user's personal information and running history and serve as a social media hub for runners. Using the foundation of experience co-creation with a specific collaboration with Apple, Nike Plus run in a watch or small device or maybe your smartphone that inserts into Nike shoes and monitors all individual activity and uploads it onto an online platform. It's amazing, isn't it? Please, do the next slide. Okay, there are many personal benefits to be a part of a community. In online communities, there's a chance to share ideas, gain encouragement, and advice. But before we continue, I would like to explain you about this Nike Plus code creation and why is it important for Nike. So there are 3 points that I've got. The first one is technology adaptation. Why? Because it could connect the brand and the community. And the secondly, it's necessary. By giving important updates for customers' health is really helpful for them. And then communication platform. Community service by Nike could potentially give more advantages because of two-way communication between customers and Nike feedbacks. Okay, so in this case, customers can communicate about shared interest and connect using your brand name or specific product line. Generates an opportunity to gain significant knowledge about the wants and needs of your target population, as well as to collect an immense amount of specific feedback from people who are using your product. Next slide, please. So in this part of series, there are 4 major co-created value X map that you need to see, but I'm going to give you on several necessary points. From the Nike Plus perspective, new strategic capital created by the company is ability to learn directly from the behavior of customers. Ability to get direct input from customers is really important and necessary for them. And economic value outcomes to the company is reduce cost of marketing through positive word of mouth, reduce risk of product services failures and misalignment with the market through qualitatively superior knowledge and insights. And then from the customer's perspective is a new engagement is built by experience of value to the customers. Tracking runs with unparalleled precision. And the second one is taking part in a new social network and increased motivation. But from the economic value outcomes to the customer, it could give you an enhanced productivity if you're trying to improve running performance and reduce search of cost-finding local running bodies and events. Therefore, this community allows users to track their progress, challenge their friends, and get encouragement from other runners in the community. Another aspect of the community is the health education that learners receive from experts regarding ways to capitalize on their running progress and how to avoid injury while training. This kind of open forum and educational opportunity enhances the learner's experience with their training, as well as with the product and the Nike brand as a whole. And the conclusion is, of experience throughout the community, the value of the Nike Plus product increases as it not only contributes to their experience of routine, the exercise routine, but also to their social experience, giving them a sense of belonging. This additional value increases the likelihood that these customers will remain loyal to the company and remain involved in the community. And also in this online realm, people are more likely to post, share, or tweet about how their experience with your product made them feel. And as a company, being able to monitor and facilitate these conversations between customers and about their experience and the product, you are able to track and create new innovation based on direct customers' feedback. And it allows you to build value directly based on your customers' experience. And there you have it. Thank you. And please, Ms. Nia, to continue our presentation.
Okay, thank you, Kenny. Next, I will explain about the research framework and methodology. And as you can see in this slide, that there are four motifs that become a factors of willingness to engage in joint innovation activities. And there are intrinsic, knowledge, social, and financial motive. And the next one is considering that most users are motivated by the combination of intrinsic and extrinsic reason. The focus hypothesis is first, intrinsic motivation has positive impact on the willingness to engage in collaborative innovation activities. The second one, the desire to share and acquire knowledge has a positive impact on the willingness to engage. The third one, desire to socialize with peers has positive impact on the willingness to engage. And the fourth one, the desire to obtain financial rewards has positive impact on the willingness to engage. And the article also defines customer participation as the degree to which the customer is involved in producing or delivering the service. Engage in interactive situation turns out can have a higher level of enthusiasm and eventually to greater engagement. Another additional hypothesis is there are significant differences in motivation among consumers who are occasionally engaged and consumers who are frequently involved in this project. And in this article, using a free software case as an example, it is a Google Play Store, a new Google mobile operating system. It's provide a valuable avenue to explore the engagement concept. Member acts as a producer and developers and as consumer and promoters as well to products and services. This analysis of this case is especially relevant for this research because since members' engagement is developed, therefore the example of collaborative innovation may result in valuable insight for the company. The data were collected through a web-based cross-sectional survey using speaking members of several free software virtual communities and was divided into three sections. The first one is the user's motivation for engaging in collaborative innovation activities. And then the second one, willingness to engage in collaborative innovative activities. And the last one is the user characteristics. Next will be explained by Firza.
Okay, now I will show you what the study finds. So the research is done on 661 members of the free software virtual communities, and 269 of them are participating occasionally or regularly in collaborative innovation. These are the ones who are considered in this study. This study shows that 45% of its respondents are periodically participating in joint innovation projects. This study also finds that the respondents' intrinsic motives are considered more critical, while financial rewards are the least. Using the multiple regression analysis, it also finds that all factors, age 1 until age 4, are significant. It also shows that intrinsic motive and knowledge acquisition are the most critical determinants of the user's willingness to engage in collaborative innovation. The H5 hypothesis is tested using two-tailed tests. From this, it can be concluded that motivation are significantly less intensive for members who engage occasionally compared to the regular contributors. So the study's conclusion is, first, essential for motivators for user participation are knowledge acquisition and intrinsic motivation. Socialization also a relevant determinant, while being rewarded for their participation was not among the most important. Also, regular contributors recognize benefits attained with cooperation more intensively than occasional users, and therefore will exhibit a higher willingness to engage in collaborative innovation. So now, with these findings, what the company should actually do in order to engage their customer for cooperation in virtual communities. Firstly, since the most important motive of collaborative innovation are intrinsic value and knowledge sharing, companies have to make their communities to become an enjoyable environment to stimulate users' curiosity and also provide an environment that promotes learning. Therefore, relationship with their customers can be enriched, and they can also generate new ideas from the communities for further innovation. Now, there are also things that has to be pointed out regarding this study. First, this research is done on a large number of people, which may lead to more general findings. Second, relevant literature may mainly focused on B2B, so a more concentration study on C2C is needed. Third, the study is done on a technology-based product, so different outcomes might be found in different industries. Fourth, since the sample of this study is Portuguese-speaking members of the communities, where the sample representing different nationalities might also provide a different results. Lastly, since the research only considered members who are actually participating on collaborative innovation, motive on collaborative innovation may also be different for the rest of the participants. So that concludes our presentation. Further question can be asked to the class or to Ella. Thank you.